So let's step back a moment and review some of the things we've just learned about designing aggregates. First of all, aggregates exist to reduce complexity. You might not always need an aggregate. Don't add complexity just for the sake of using an aggregate. Another is that entities with an aggregate can only reference the root entity of another aggregate.
But you can always use foreign key values as a reference to entities inside another aggregate. It's perfectly okay to use this, and it'll avoid the need for, when you go to save that aggregate, for it to cascade its persistence into other aggregates. If you find you're needing to use a lot of foreign key references to aggregate children often, you may need to reconsider the design of your aggregate in your domain model.
Another pointer was don't be afraid to have an aggregate of one. In other words, an aggregate that only has one object in it.
And finally, don't forget the rule of cascading deletes. Remember, one test for whether or not a particular object makes sense as an aggregate root is to consider whether deleting that object should also delete all of the other child objects in that aggregate hierarchy. If it doesn't, then you probably have chosen the wrong structure for your aggregate.